I'm Brilyn Hollyhand, Editor-in-Chief of the Truth Gazette, here today in our nation's capital with Alabama Congressman Mike Rogers. Mr. Rogers, thank you so much for sitting here with today. So we'll go ahead and get started. I know you're a little rushed on time, but we'll go ahead and get this started. What do you believe are the top 3 issues that need to be addressed in the House this Congress?
Well, pressing right now is the immigration humanitarian crisis at our southwest border. It's got to be addressed. It's got to be addressed by this weekend. It's an unfortunate circumstance that Health and Human Services, which is the organization that takes the children, but also the family units in some cases, after they've been processed by the Border Patrol, is running out of money this weekend. So we've been hearing the terrible stories about kids without diapers and medical care, and enough food, and definitely not enough shelter. Those things need to be addressed. So that's the number one issue. Second, we really need to do something about the cost of health care and transparency and billing. That's something that we've been talking a lot about lately, because people, when they go to the hospital, they don't know what they're being charged. They don't know how much the insurance is going to pay, and they get these surprise bills afterwards, and that's just turned into a real problem nationwide. And then we got to get our defense authorization bill done before the end of the year. We have not failed to pass a defense authorization bill in 58 years, but we're having real problems this year on the House floor. So those will be the top 3 in my view.
With Democratic majority of this Congress, do you expect much to be accomplished now in the between now and the 2020 elections?
No, it's all because of the elections. Part of it, though, in fairness, is divided government. The Republicans have control of the Senate, Democrats have control of the House, and we just don't agree on a whole lot. You add to that the Democrats have Trump derangement syndrome, and they're against anything he's for. It exacerbates an already underlying problem. But it's my hope we can still get the fundamentals done, just get the basics done, keep the government open, make sure the Defense Department has what it needs to keep us safe, and then after the 2020 election, get down to some serious legislating.
With impeachment talks to the president heating up by the day, you recently said, quote, "If Pelosi tries impeachment, it would be the death of a majority." Why do you believe, after the failed Mueller report, Democrats are still pushing the idea of impeachment?
The main reason is, you look at the large number of Democrat freshmen that came in, they campaigned on impeaching the president. And in their districts, the president is very unpopular. They're very blue districts. They don't want to go back home and run for re-election without keeping their promise that they at least tried to impeach him. Well, they're putting enormous pressure on Pelosi to give them that chance for a vote. And she doesn't know. She's in a box. She doesn't know what to do. And then what's also happening is, for some of the more senior members, they have a threat of being primaried from the left by some of the same people that got elected this last time. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Omar Tlaib, they've been recruiting candidates to go after members who aren't moving to the left. So those members are starting to ask for impeachment because they don't want to be taken out in the primary. That's the reason they keep talking about it, and I think they're going to talk about it until they get a vote. Now, if they do bring it up for a vote, we will nail those candidates in the next primary, particularly in the suburban districts that are moderate, that threw our members out because they were mad at the president, and they didn't want us to be fussing like that. To have somebody come in and start fussing on the other side is going to be a death knell for them. That's why I say it will get our majority back.
Absolutely. You have been a strong and outspoken supporter of President Trump. What do you believe are his greatest accomplishments so far?
The best one, and he's done a lot of great stuff, is the way he's turned the economy around. I mean, we had 8 years of just stagnant financial growth in this country. High unemployment. It was the slowest recovery in the nation's history. Although we started in the last 6 years recovering, it was just very small steps. The economy's taken off since President Trump has come in and cut taxes and eliminated a lot of regulation, and basically invigorated confidence in consumers.
And on the topic of Trump, last Tuesday, President Trump officially kicked off his 2020 presidential campaign. Do you think the president will have a greater support base after his many accomplishments or less?
Better, because of the economy. When you look back at the history of our nation, when the economy's doing well, it's almost impossible to beat an incumbent president. Just a fact. And even when the economy's bad, it's still hard. Barack Obama's the best example. The economy was not doing well. He was not that popular, but he's the incumbent, and it's just hard to beat an incumbent.
What do you think is finally going to take for those who oppose the border wall to realize our country really does need a border wall or border security?
Political pressure. Until they start having a hard time answering reporters with a straight face, which is what's happening now. That's why the Democrats are actually trying to bring a bill to the floor now. Even the New York Times, the liberal New York Times, has editorialized twice in the last 10 days saying, knock it off. It's time to start doing something to help those people out the border.
Last Thursday night, in response to Iran shooting down the U.S. by drone, President Trump called off an airstrike in retaliation to Iran in its final minutes before launch. Do you think the president made the right decision, and what should the U.S. do in retaliation for Iran's potential acts of war?
I would defer to the president on what the right decision is. I think that if he didn't think it was the right time, then I have confidence in the president's judgment. There do have to be consequences. There's been some public news stories of a cyber attack that the United States military laid against Iran, and we have ramped up sanctions. They're already economically on their knees. This is going to make it worse. So there are consequences that are being imposed on them. And my view is, if they make another strike, then I don't think he'll have a choice but to militarily hit a target. But I think he was wise to be measured in his first responses. You don't go into a kinetic war lightly.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me
Enjoy
today.
it.
Thank you. It's an honor.